Our story starts with Kei. He is an honor student and just wanted to be a doctor and live a peaceful life. After morning study, he goes out and sits at the dining table, and his mother tells him that she expects him to do well on his exam, which he agrees and heads off. He walked to the school with a few other students. On the way, he sees his friend Kaito, who waves at him, but Kei ignores him. In school, the teacher talks about demi-humans and their immortality. He mentions an Ajin called Soldier of God and explains that there are currently 46 confirmed demi-humans. There is no way to determine whether a person is Ajin or not unless he dies. Kei asks if demi-humans are humans, but the teacher says no. After school, Kei visits his sister in the hospital. They talk about a grave they made for their dog when they were younger, and she asks him about Kaito. Kei reveals that he hasn't spoken to him in a while. While walking on the road, Kei gets hit by a truck in front of his classmates. To their shock, he gets up, and his body rapidly heals. He tries to explain that he's human, but his panic scream paralyzes everyone at the scene. Later, a police officer asks Kaito if he knows Kei, but he denies it. He then runs off to look for Kei. Meanwhile, Kei runs into the forest, wondering where he should go. Kaito receives Kei's call and tells him to calm down and reveal his location. He assures Kei that he can trust him. Kei is then found by a police officer but manages to escape with Kaito's help. They hop on Kaito's motorcycle and speed off. Kei's identity is then announced on the TV and all over town, making their situation even more perilous. Kaito takes Kei on his motorcycle to the hills. While stopping for fuel, they attract the attention of two criminals in a van who have just kidnapped a schoolgirl. The criminals recognize Kei from the news on their phones and start to follow them. When the boys stop by the side of the road, the criminals attack them. Meanwhile, the schoolgirl manages to escape from the van. The leader pins down Kei and chokes him to death, hoping to see if he revives. As Kei loses consciousness, a mysterious figure known as the Black Ghost materializes nearby. Suddenly, Kei comes back to life and screams again, which immobilizes everyone. Kaito recovers first, and they flee again on the motorcycle, pursued shortly thereafter by the criminals, who are in turn followed by the Black Ghost. Meanwhile, Tosaki, a top Ajin officer, orders tranquilizer guns for the police as the best way to stop Ajin. Kaito and Kei manage to cross a railway line, but as the criminals cross the tracks behind them, the Black Ghost immobilizes the driver. The van is destroyed by an oncoming train, and the criminals are killed in the crash. The Black Ghost is heard repeating Kei's words. Meanwhile, Ajin's top officer, Tosaki, and his assistant, Izumi, make their way to Kei's home to start their investigation. Later, a mysterious man with a cap freed another Ajin from the government lab. Kaito and Kei are on the run, trying to escape from those who want to capture Kei for his unique abilities. They are suddenly pursued by another motorcyclist who seems to be working with their enemies. Meanwhile, at the original accident scene, Tosaki recognizes Sato as an agent hunter, but he is unable to take any action publicly. Meanwhile, Sato is trying to figure out how to locate Kei. The other motorcyclist causes the boys to crash, but Kaito recovers and knocks Biker unconscious. Unfortunately, Kei has a broken leg and cannot move. He uses the motorcyclist's knife to reset himself, and then fully recovers without injuries. Sato and Tanaka discuss ways to find Kei, while Kaito takes him to his secret retreat in the forest. There, Kaito suggests that they should head to Kyushu to escape their pursuers. Later, Kei sees the Black Ghost once again, leaving him with an uneasy feeling. Tosaki's assistant, Izumi, starts to investigate Kei's past and talks to his sister Eriko. She tells her of the time when Kei saw a Black Ghost after their dog died. Suddenly, a Black Ghost appears and attacks Izumi and the police officers who were with her, leaving everyone in shock. The appearance of the Black Ghost leaves everyone wondering what is happening and who or what is behind these mysterious occurrences. Izumi slowly gets up, feeling a sharp pain in her chest. Well, she is an Ajin too. Despite her injuries, she manages to get up and summon her Black Ghost, and it starts a battle between two Black Ghosts, one controlled by her and the other by Tanaka. In the mix of all this, Sato abducted Kei's sister and convinces her that he only wants to help Kei. He believes that Kei could be the key to bringing down the government and their inhumane treatment of Ajin. Eriko is hesitant, but eventually agrees to help Sato. Kei, feeling desperate and alone, decides to reach out to another Ajin who might be in hiding. He stole Kaito's phone and ran away from him, thinking that Kaito could get killed if he stayed with him. But before he can do anything, Sato contacts him and proposes a meeting. Kei asked how he got his sister's phone, but ultimately decided to meet him. As he approaches, he sees Sato and Tanaka waiting for him. Kei has a conversation with Sato, telling him that he just wants to live in peace and doesn't want to hurt humans. Sato secretly orders his men to shoot Kei with tranquilizer darts, and the young Ajin collapses to the ground. Sato decides that Kei is inexperienced and must be educated. The government has captured Kei, and Tasaki, along with the police, has taken him into custody. It turns out that Sato's plan was to have Kei captured by the government and mistreated in order to turn him against humans. Kei is taken to a sealed room where government surgeons begin experimenting on him. The pain is excruciating. The black ghost appears once again and stares at everyone. But the officials and Tasaki can't see the black things, only Izumi can. Kei was in extreme pain, but he still managed to resist using his black ghost to kill the surgeon. Meanwhile, Sato and Tanaka are coming to attack the lab in an attempt to free Kei. Sato takes the lead and shoots at every officer who comes in his way. And Dr. Agura from the US came and explained about the black ghost. A normal human cannot see those things, which they call IBM or variant. It can only be seen by another Ajin. Sato finally manages to reach Kei and free him from the government's grasp. However, Sato is surprised to discover that Kei has not become the vengeful Ajin that he expected. He considers his strategy a failure, but it's not over yet. While they escaped, Sato becomes suspicious of Kei's behavior as he looks so calm. They enter a room where they saw some surgeons. Sato starts shooting at the helpless surgeons in the facility. Kei tried to stop Sato and explain the surgeons are not fighting back and that he do not need to shoot them. When Sato didn't listen, Kei shot Sato in self-defense. In the Ajin Research Center, Dr. Agura attempts to explain the nature of the black ghosts. And for protection, Tasaki asks that Izumi stick close to him. Kei decides to help the remaining surgeons escape the facility by acting as a decoy. In his attempt to flee, he is caught by Sato, but he calls upon his black ghost for help, allows Kei and the remaining surgeon to make a run for it. At the terrace, Kei and the surgeon were followed by Sato. Sato shot the surgeon, and the two black ghosts engage in a ferocious battle, neither emerging as a clear winner. As Kei ran towards a nearby river, Sato once again tried to attack Kei, but he managed to jump into the river. Tasaki, reeling from the loss of the valuable sample, receives a stern warning from the minister. This reminds him of a time when the minister offered him a position in the Ajin Control Commission and showed him the ruthless experiments being conducted on second captured Ajin, all for potential profit. Meanwhile, Sato, having left the research facility, addresses the media to expose the government's inhumane treatment of Ajin and to announce a public meeting with the intention of attracting more Ajin to join him. However, before he leaves the facility, he causes a massive explosion to distract the media and authorities. At the event, Tanaka uses his Ajin abilities to communicate only with the black ghosts of the Ajin present and informs them of the real meeting location. At the same time, Tasaki has his own agenda. He abducts the US Ajin expert, Dr. Agura, and leaves a damaged body in his place to make it look like Agura was killed. Later, Toseki visits a hospital where his fiancée is in a coma due to the high cost of her treatment. Kei is pulled from the ocean's grasp and washed up on the shore, but he's soon knocked down by an elderly woman on a bicycle. Despite the inconvenience, Kei decides to lend a helping hand to the woman. Meanwhile, Sato calls together a private meeting with 7 Ajin and offers them the option of joining him in a massacre against humans. Those who refuse will be kept as prisoners. 3 of them accept his offer, while the remaining 4 decline. 2 of the 4 are fatally shot, and the other 2 attempt to flee but are captured, leaving only a young boy named Nakano, who manages to escape. Back with Kei, he continues to help the old woman, and though she realizes that he is an Ajin, she decides to take no action. Taking advantage of the situation, Kei conducts some experiments to summon his black ghost. While Nakano is on the run from Sato on a train, he spots the black ghost on the mountains in the opposite direction from Sato. Nakano returns home to find armed men, sent by Tasaki, waiting to capture him. He jumps from the 2nd floor to evade them, but before they can apprehend him, an ambulance arrives, summoned by a concerned neighbor, and takes Nakano to the hospital. Tragically, Nakano dies but is revived as an Ajin and manages to escape. Meanwhile, Sato records a threatening public message, promising to use force to change public opinion. He announces plans to attack a pharmaceutical company in just 10 days. And one more important thing. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed this part of the story, please let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Your support means the world to me and motivates me to keep creating more content. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments too. I always love hearing from you. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next video.